Hello, chat. This is going to be a different type of video. I don't normally make videos like these, but Deltarune has been such an important game to me, important part of my life, and also an important part of this community that we have here on our channel and our streams, that I wanted to go over this real quick because I thought it was really cool and interesting. So Chapter 5, the Summer 2026 newsletter just released. And if you haven't read it yet, you should. It's an amazing newsletter. There's so much that he talks about. There's this fucking picture of corn, which, mark my words, I'm telling you, this is like the Roaring Knight's face or something. It's gonna be like some kind of NPC or whatever. Toby Fox does not just desire the corn. This is tricky Tony shit, all right. But anyways, yeah, it's a great newsletter. He has so much. There's so much concept art and like concept music. There's tons, and if you haven't read this yet, you really need to because it's amazing. But in addition to releasing this newsletter, he's also updated the Deltarune website, Spamton Sweepstakes website. And if you remember Spamton Sweepstakes, this was a thing released a few years back now that was for charity and for just for sillies, for charity and for sillies. But also there was hidden links and secrets and things that you could do to get to secret little tidbits of future chapters, things that we could theorize about. And one of those things was a page that had these numbers here. Now if you look, you see it says 245. But also if you scroll like this, you'll see it actually has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. What this was theorized at the time, and eventually ended up being proven correct, is that this would be the amount of weird root that would be in each chapter. Obviously, chapter 1, the weird root didn't even exist. So it's not only is it grayed out, but it's also extremely small. Chapter 2 is where the weird root was introduced. It's where it was birthed, right? So it's going to be very big, and it's going to be clear as day. Chapter 3, there was nothing that you could do to advance the weird route or move the weird route forward, but there were things in it that heavily discuss what happens in the weird route, which is why this is just as big as 2, but it's grayed out. You can't see it because it's not something that you would really know about if you haven't done the weird route, right? So it's grayed out. It's like a ghost because it's not technically in any way related to the weird route, but also if you've done the weird route, it very much is related to the weird route. Chapter 4 is a weird one because there is a thing that you do in Chapter 4 that heavily progresses the weird route and is like an extremely disturbing scene, if you ask me. But also, it is, if you think about it in the grand scheme of thing, just one little scene. Compared to Chapter 2's weird route, which you have to do a lot to get that, Chapter 4, you just have to do one thing. Now, Chapter 5, as we've just seen with its release, it's more than Chapter 4, definitely. It's definitely more than Chapter 4. In fact, Chapter 5's weird route completely changes the way that Chapter 5 is played, right? So, this is, as we theorized back then, and eventually came true now, this shows exactly how much weird route is in each chapter. Now, Chapter 6 is nowhere displayed here, and neither is Chapter 7 before. But, as I said, Toby recently just updated this page, and actually, if you scroll all the way down here, you'll see something. 7B. Now, if you've played Chapter 5's Weird Route, then you'll know insert side B. 7B is of course referring to Chapter 7's Weird Route. Because as we know, again, if you've played Chapter 5, or just seen Chapter 5, I suppose you don't have to play it. Chapter 5, the weird route, actually skips over Chapter 6 and goes directly to 7. For whatever reason, Chapter 6 is not going to have any mention or relevance of the weird route. It just skips over it and goes to Chapter 7, Side B, right? And if you take a look at all of these numbers up here, look at the size of this 2, right? Now look at the size of 7B. Well, I would think that would make sense considering this is a route that you can only get if you do the weird route. This is the ultimate the finale to the weird route is 7B. So of course it's going to be much larger. It makes sense that it would be much larger, but that's not all. Because if you click on 7B, then it takes you to this page that says Progress. The title of this page is Progress. Now, I know this is a little tiny. You might have to zoom in here. It's tiny on my end, too. What we see here, if I'm correct, we'll talk about that in a second. What we see here is the progress of Chapter 7, Side B. These 4 emojis represent different things of that chapter. The way that I'm interpreting this, and I could be wrong on some details, but the way that I'm interpreting this here is a picture of a map. And you see the progress is all the way up there. What that tells me is that the world, right? The world, the design of the world, right? Like, for example, Hometown, the Dark World, right? Those things. The world is basically done. It's almost finished, right? This here is a picture of a film reel. It's pretty close to where the map is. What I get from that is cutscenes, right? Any cutscenes, any things like that. That is also kind of close to being done. What we have here is a picture of a gun. This isn't very close. It's not even halfway yet, but it's getting to be close to halfway. What I'm getting from this is that it is the battle mechanics. The attack, the battle, anything like that, any fights, any even gameplay mechanics perhaps would be in this. And as you see, it's not fully done yet. It's not even really at halfway. And then this here, which is even less so, this I'm not sure, but I'm guessing, just guessing, that this little alien dude is referring to the sprites. Now, it's also possible that the gun, is referring to the attack, the bosses, whatever, and this is referring to other gameplay mechanics unrelated to this. But I feel like it would be weird to not clump those in the same thing, and then also just not have a thing for sprites. So this seems, in my opinion, to be sprites and sprite work. And you see that that's not even really close to being done yet. But what we have here, very obviously and very directly, is, as the title of the page says, progress for Chapter 7, Side B, specifically. And as we scroll at the bottom here, you'll notice it says, same time as 7, right? Again, I'm sure you can figure this out. Same time as 7 means that when Chapter 7 releases, Chapter 7 Side B also releases. It's not going to be Chapter 7 comes out, hey guys, hope you enjoyed my Deltarune. Anyways, I'm so glad you had fun. And then 1 month later, just Gaster shows up on Twitter and says, there is one more secret route that you've not yet explored, or some shit like that. No, they're releasing at the same time as each other. But this is interesting to me because This is specifically talking about Chapter 7, Side B. It's not talking about Chapter 7. And I have a lot of theories about Chapter 7. I don't know what Chapter 7 is gonna be. But to boil it all down, my main theory is that Chapter 7 is going to be, in the normal Chapter 7, is going to be very, very short, maybe an hour or 2 hours. It's not going to be hey, this is the moment. This is the end. This is the key thing. That's what chapter 6 is going to be. And if you read Toby's newsletter, he kind of goes into what chapter 6 is going to be a little bit. And he talks about how chapter 6 is going to be when shit gets real. There's not going to be any more goofy shit, no more adventures. Chapter 6 is going to be real, which leads me to think that Chapter 7 is going to serve as an epilogue to anything that happens in Chapter 6. So it's going to be a much shorter chapter, and could possibly even already be done. Who knows? And that's my idea as to why he only would have Chapter 7 Side B listed in terms of progress here. And also why you would see that Chapter 7 as a whole doesn't have anything related to the Weird Route here, because just like Chapter 6, we're skipping over Chapter 6 and Chapter 7 normally, just going straight to Side B, but also because I think it's going to be a much, much shorter chapter than the rest. But that's basically it, guys. I just wanted to release this video and talk about all this, and I haven't played any of the Weird Route personally. I don't intend to, because it seems like hell, number one, and also I don't trust him to not add a mechanic at the very end that deletes all your saves if you did the Weird Route. So yeah, I don't know. But yeah, if you followed along with the Weird Route, then this is definitely something you'll wanna dig some more into, and I'm sure that over the next couple of days, we may find a couple new puzzles on this website as well. I'm sure he will be dropping more things here and there, and quite possibly there are things that are already there that we just haven't found yet. Still very early yet. It's we never know with Tricky the Tony the Fox. Uh, but why would a fox ever be tricky? What's that thing that the fox says in chapter 5? The Tricky Tony reference from chapter 5? I don't know. But chat, thank you so much for watching. I know that this was a weird video. I don't normally do stuff like this, but if you check me out for this, then thank you so much. And yeah, I will be streaming next week. For those of you who are still here, I will be streaming next week. I don't know currently the days yet, but for the entire month of August, I'm going to be doing different Lego games. Just various Lego games. Lego Star Wars, Lego Pirates, Lego Batman, all of the things. It's just gonna be a whole month of Lego games, and maybe also one thing mixed in between that I'm really looking forward to. But we'll see. It very much depends on a lot of different factors. But that's it for me. So thank you so much for being here. Thank you for watching, and yeah, fucking Deltarune, you know. Bye.